how, again, to develop your real estate career, your marketing at home, and we're very fortunate and lucky to have one of the best mortgage lenders in the entire state of Florida, VanDyk Mortgage, here with us. We have Thesia, we have Gil, we have Brian. They're going to go over all the programs and different things and tactics and marketing skills that you guys should be using at home. Sorry, I keep using that word should. Must be using at home, okay? To make sure that you advance your real estate career, especially a time like this here. Partnership Realty, Partnership Title, VanDyk Mortgage, we're open, we're here. We're available for you guys 7 days a week. We're doing closings. Last night, I think our office closed at 9:30 at night. There are so many closings going on right now, and it's thanks to the help of Thesia, Gil, Brian, that we're actually teaching you guys and showing you guys what you should be doing at home, what marketing strategies, like using all the listings that we've got. You guys know that we have approximately 450 listings the last time I checked yesterday. You guys should be marketing these properties. And then find out about the mortgage company and finding out what tactics they're using to keep our economy going. And so one of the things I recommend is, again, review this. It might be a lot to intake at this one time. But again, go back to YouTube. Remember, when you go to YouTube, hit subscribe. So every time that there's a new class coming on, you're going to be alerted. So if you go to Facebook, put like. But I want to introduce you right now to Thesia. Thesia is a phenomenal manager, tons and tons of years of experience in financing, and she'll go over a lot of strategies today with you on what you guys should be doing. Gil's going to be helping. Brian's going to come on next. So I think it'll be a phenomenal class. It's good to see everyone once again. Thesia?
Thank you, Ishmael. So Ishmael asked me to be here today and to speak to you guys and give you some information. I have done classes in his office quite often, but it's always been in front of people. This is the first time I'm doing it in front of a camera, and I said, Ishmael, I'm like really nervous. I don't know if I can do this because I'm talking to an inanimate object, and I don't have people there to look at and to interact. So, so he said to me, well, Thesia, just pretend the realtor's here. Don't be nervous. Just pretend they're all in their underwear, and you'll be fine. So I thought about that. I said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. But then again, under the circumstances, I'm wondering if all of you are in your underwear now anyway. So I feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more calmed down about the whole thing. And I just wanted to let you know that we have a lot that we want to share with you today. And what we're going to share is marketing strategies, what you can do while you're going through the quarantine, and what we can do to help increase your business. Now, for you, those that know me, quite a few of you already know me, and we've done business together. Yes, my hair's 3 inches longer. Yeah, I've got darker roots. And my nails are about a ½ inch shorter. But I'm still doing business. I'm still making sure that I'm reaching out to customers, clients, referral sources, and whatnot. And for those of you that don't know me, I'd like to give you a little bit of information about myself and the company that I work for, VanDyk Mortgage. VanDyk Mortgage opened their doors in 1987. We have 2 corporate offices. One's located in Clearwater, Florida, and the other one in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're a direct lender, and what that means is that we have in-house processing, underwriting, funding, and we actually service a portion of the loans that we close. So our best referral sources actually are title companies. I've heard that when the title companies hear that VanDyk Mortgage is the company that they're going to receive the closing package on, they're excited because they know that they get the package on time, and they also know that they will get the funding in time for the closing. Now me, I have my office in Delray Beach, Florida. I have a team that works with me. I have Kendall George, who is my assistant. And then I also have Lisa, who is the processor. Both of them are brilliant. Kendall works directly with the customers and clients directly through the process, collecting paperwork to make sure that we have everything. And Lisa works directly with me and the underwriter to make sure that each transaction is going smoothly and that we have everything done. And this creates for the highest loan approval success rate with this team that we have. We also have in our office Gil, and he's with me today. I don't know if you can see him. Say hi, Gil.
Hi, Gil.
Okay. And he's business development and marketing in my branch. And he works with my realtor partners to ensure that they have a footprint and increased exposure in the market. So I have been in the industry for over 40 years now. And I was in the business when, in the 1980s, when the interest rates were 14 to 18%. And people were buying like crazy. And the reason for that is because they thought the interest rates were going to go up to 25%. So they wanted to get that low interest rate of 14, 15, 16%. So even though the rates were high, there was a lot going on at the time. You know, there was a shortage of gas. You couldn't get gas unless you had an odd or even day, and that all depended on what was on your license plate, the number on your license plate to get gas. And then you'd be in line, you know, a quarter mile long, hoping to get to that gas pump before you ran out of gas. So the 80s was a crazy time too, but people kept buying homes, and business was as usual, if not busier. Okay, then we had 2000 and 2008 when the burst of the real estate bubble occurred. There were a lot of mortgage companies that went out of business. There were a lot of loan originators that just fell to the wayside and went into a totally different career. Well, both VanDyk Mortgage and myself, we survived all those times. And the reason that we did is just due to innovation. And basically what we did is we're taking the current happenings, what's going on around us in the environment, and then just doing something different, not waiting for everything to come back to normal, but just creating something completely different in order to market ourselves or move forward with business. Okay, so with that, I'd like to say that as far as the business that we do, we have 30-day closings, we have 15-day mortgage commitments, and we're still doing business that quickly. As far as VanDyk Mortgage, I've been with them for over 10 years. I have direct access to the underwriters, and in doing that, that allows me to work the transactions. Because VanDyk here is they want to make a deal. They don't want to break them. They want to make the transaction happen. So today what we're going to do is we're going to share innovative ways to jumpstart your business in today's current environment. And we have today a speaker. His name is Brian Lovell. And I'd like to give you information on him, but I'm going to read it because he has a very impressive background and I don't want to miss anything. So hold on 1 minute. I'm looking for my glasses. Okay, so Brian Lovell is the National Director of Business Growth of VanDyk Mortgage. He has served in several sales leadership roles across various industries since the year 2000. His mortgage career began in 2007 during the time of most challenging times the industry faced. He came to VanDyk Mortgage in 2011, and since that time, our company has seen unprecedented growth through outside-the-box thinking not normally seen in the mortgage industry. He leads the company growth from talent acquisition, retention, to sales coaching of regional managers, branch managers, and loan originators. Brian is a John Maxwell Team Certified Independent Speaker, Coach, and Trainer. He has helped others build big lives and businesses through teaching systems, tools, and models that are designed to help those individuals and their teams reach the highest success levels. So right now, I would like to move you over to Brian. And Brian, you are here with us today.
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay, do we have him on?
Yeah. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here, Thesia and Gil and Ishmael, for the opportunity to speak to some huge assets in your life, and those are the real estate agents that the both of you serve. And I appreciate you entrusting me to add value to this group today. So Thesia said, my name is Brian Lovell. I'm the National Director of Business Growth here at VanDyk. And I've been in the mortgage business since 2007. Now, interesting story. I don't know if anybody has ever seen the movie The Big Short. If you haven't, whether you're in real estate or in finance, it's a great movie. regardless. But the reason I bring up that movie is, April 2007 is an interesting time to start your career in the mortgage business. If you saw that movie, you saw one of the titles in that movie was April 2007 was the first economic signs of global financial meltdown. And that is when I chose to start my career in this business. I'm thankful that it was a challenging time because it certainly forged who I am today. And I thankful too, I spent every dollar I've had and some of my dad's to make it through the business, but here we are, and I'm excited to be here with you guys today. So whether you're an industry veteran or you're a rookie or new in the business, we're going to give you some tools and some tips today. They're going to help you to drive your business even in this time. Thecia talked about VanDyk Mortgage. We've been in business since 1987. One important thing I want to note is we are a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Ginnie Mae seller servicer. The reason that is important is right now, that is one of the main reasons we are still lending is because we have the ability to sell our loans directly to those GSEs. So what I love about this company too, as Thecia said, we've been in business since 1987. So the leadership of this company has been through financial crisis before. And so nobody is operating or leading this company based on theories. They're doing it based on practices that were successful and led our company through some challenging times. And we hope to pass on some of that knowledge to you today. So here's what you're going to get out of the time that we spend together. I'm going to spend some time talking to you about how to keep your business going. How can you lead yourself and your business through this? Yes, Gil?
No.
Oh, sorry. I saw you waving your hands. And we're going to make sure that you have some tools to help you with the right habits and the right routines. Some strategies to help you test your database, your sphere, even when you're working at home or even when you're isolated. So here's the deal. Let's dig in. So hopefully you've got something you can write on, maybe a pen, a marker, a pencil, mascara, lipstick, whatever you can do to get some notes down. I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and get that out because I'm going to give you some things that you're definitely going to want to write down. And here's how I'm going to start things. I'm going to ask you to write down 3 questions. Okay? 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. And my intention is to give you some things that are going to help you be able to frame the answers to these questions by the time that we're done together. So the first one is this. How will this make me better? How will this current climate, this crisis, how will this time in our careers, how will it make me better? The second question is, how will I use it to help other people? How will I use it to help other people? And the third one is, what actions will I take that will improve my situation? What actions will I take that will improve my situation? So let's get into it. And we're going to talk leadership first. John Maxwell says that everything rises and falls on leadership. Now, you might be sitting at your home right now watching this on YouTube and you're going, but Brian, I don't really consider myself a leader. And I want to walk you through that for just a moment. Whether you're a single agent or you're part of a team or whatever role that you're in, everybody is a leader in some degree, right? So maybe you're a little league coach. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you lead people in a faith or a house of worship. If you're in real estate or lending like I am, regardless of whether you're a single agent or whether you're on a team or lead a team, you are a leader. So the first thing that you've got to do is recognize that that's a role that you carry. All right? So I want you to write this down. As I said before, everything rises and falls on leadership. Here's the thing. In an environment like we're in right now, in a crisis, the fall can be faster. Okay? A bad leader will drive their business down quickly. But a good leader is going to be able to grow their business even through this time. And our goal in the time that we spend with you today is to be able to give you those tips and tricks to be able to help you be a good leader for your business during this time. Here's the reality is that this is going to bring out the best or the worst of you. There will not be any middle ground. All right? John Maxwell also says that leadership is influence. It's nothing more and nothing less. So the best way to gain influence with people is to add value to them. And we're going to get into some things here this afternoon that are going to help you add value to those that you serve. Okay? So I'm going to give you 6 things that you can do to become a good leader and to gain influence in this time. So here's the first one. Put people first. Some examples of how would you put people first in a time like this. Are we being responsible with social distancing? Are we being responsible with going to the grocery store? Are we hoarding, right? Are we being responsible in the way that we communicate with people? And are we being responsible in making sure that we are a resource for those that we serve, those buyers and sellers that we serve? The second thing is educate yourself. Know what the issues truly are. Hey, by the way, there are some great places to get information from that probably don't include network news or social media, right? So educate yourself, because when you educate yourself, you become the resource. You become the resource for those that you're trying to influence. All right? The third thing is this: be flexible. I think we all would agree that the way that we're doing things is changing. I mean, I'm sitting in my office instead, in my home office, instead of in my office. Or more importantly, I wish I was standing in front of you today in your real estate office, but we're not, right? So we're just being flexible. I would tell you that the changes that we make in our business during this time, we'll probably never see business the way that we did before. So it's important to us to make sure that we're being flexible. The fourth thing is leverage your team, right? You have a great team with the real estate office that you're aligned with, and you have great leaders that are a part of that group. None of us, not a single one of us, is smarter than all of us. So I promised you I was going to give you some solutions today that were going to help you drive your business. I want to share one of these with you. And this is something that's specific to you being partnered with Thesia and Gil. We have a program that we've designed to resuscitate, or give, I guess as an analogy, we could give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to your old leads. So I know some of you in the past have probably bought leads from Zillow, Realtor.com, maybe Boomtown, Conversion. There's all these different lead platforms. Maybe some of them are new, maybe some of them are old, maybe some of them are so old you haven't even touched them in months or even years. We have created a system that helps us warm those up for you. All you really got to do is give Thesia and Gil that list. We're going to jam them into the database that we have, and we're going to start dripping on them. We're already seeing loan officers who are partnering with their real estate partners on this that are getting a 10 to a 15% response rate. So imagine if you had hundreds, if not thousands of those. All we're asking is if we come across any buyers, you give us the opportunity to help them in their financing. But if we come across buyers or sellers that come from your leads, we're going to make sure that they get back into your hands. So leverage the tools and the resources that you have, even with your affiliate partners. All right. The fifth thing and things you can do to become a good leader and gain influence is communicate judiciously more than continually. Right? And so the big thing that I'm saying here is use discernment in our communication. As an example, you've probably seen this a lot in the news recently in regards to mortgage forbearance. The judicious part is that there's no free lunch. Yes, is mortgage forbearance available out there for borrowers? It is. But at some point, they're going to have to make those payments one way or another. So make sure that you're being the voice of reason and you're educating your borrowers. And I'm going to give you some things near the end of this presentation that are going to help you do that. Do you have a message that you want to get out there? You know, here's some ideas that you can have is, you know, right now we're teaching this class over a YouTube channel. But as an agent, how about doing a mastermind maybe with some of your affiliates, get Thesia on the phone, a title company, homeowners insurance, get on a Facebook Live and have some conversations about how great the market actually is right now. People are still buying homes and people are still listing properties. So get that out there into the community. You know, if it's not real estate related or mortgage related, that's okay too. Sometimes just being the voice in your community is enough to help you gain some influence. The last thing I want to share with you, and the 6 things you can do to become a good leader and gain influence, is be authentic. And here's another tip for you. Right now would be a great time for you to hit your sphere of influence or get into your database and just do a wellness check. Hey, how are you doing? Is there anything that your family needs during this time? You know, I think one of the things that we do as agents all the time is we get into our database and we're asking that magic script. Hey, do you know of anybody who's thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate? Here's what I'll promise you. People are more interested in your authenticity than they are your perfect script. And I can't think of a better time to be more authentic than to get into your database, pick up the phone and just ask, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything that I can do to help you or your family? All right. Here's the other thing that I want to share with you, and we'll get into a little bit about what are some of the routines and some of the habits that you should have during this time. If you're like me, your world's been turned upside down a little bit. You know, there's a lot of things that are closed, like the gym is closed, your office may be closed, your kids might be going to school at your kitchen table, right? So the biggest thing for me that's changed is my routines have changed. And so I'm going to be transparent here a little bit. I'm one of those people who I dictate my day instead of letting my day dictate me. So everything kind of operates to some degree on a time block. My days are planned ahead of time, and they start a lot of times early in the morning, and I get into my time block pretty much after I get my kids to school. So let me give you an example of like what a typical day for me might look like a couple of weeks ago. I get up at 6 or 6:30. I start getting ready for work. The kids are getting ready for school. I leave the house around 7, drop my youngest daughter off at school, and my work day starts. And I get right into my time block of whatever that may be. Well, today, my kids, they're not going to school. So that trigger that I used to have to get up early has gone away. And so what I noticed about the first week and a half into this whole stay-at-home order was that I was getting out of bed later. I was getting out of bed at 7:45, 8 o'clock. I'm not saying there's particularly anything wrong with that, but for me, it was preventing me from getting some things done that I normally would do, like say getting a workout in, right? You know, I used to work out at the gym a couple of days a week. I would meet a buddy of mine. We would do an outdoor boot camp with some friends. We did that at 5 a.m. We can't do that anymore either. So what I found was my world was literally turned upside down because one trigger, which was getting up early to take my kids to school, had changed. So I want to give you some things that you might be able to do to help you get going, right? One of the solutions that I had to like my workout problem was, okay, now that I can't go to the gym, what am I going to do? It's 95 degrees outside today here, so I'm not really thrilled about going and running outside. I'd much rather run inside a gym with the air conditioning on a treadmill. But one of the things that I came across was Peloton actually has some workouts available through their app. And for 3 months, it's free during this time. So I was able to go on there, find some workouts that I could do, and that became my trigger to get my day started and get up a little bit earlier. But your routines and your habits, they matter if you're going to continue to work on your business. Here's what I have found over the years. There are 2 types of people. There are those that their day runs them, and there are those that run the day. And let me give you an example. There are those that get up every morning at whatever time they get up, they get in the shower, they start getting ready for work, and they're wondering, you know, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do today to drive my business? And whatever is the first email that they see or the first phone call they get, that dictates the rest of the day for them. And then there's those that get up in the morning just like the first person, and they get in the shower, and they already know what their day is planned like. They've already blocked off, this is the lead generation I'm going to do. These are the listing appointments I've got to go on. These are the buyer consultations that I've got to do. So here's the reality is the business plan that you wrote for yourself at the beginning of this year is pretty much invalid right now, right? If you haven't stopped to take a couple of moments to rewrite your business plan based on the way we're currently doing business right now, I want to encourage you to make sure that you're doing that, okay? Because here's the reality, and I'll encourage you to write this down too. You can't have uphill hopes with downhill habits. I'll say that again. You can't have uphill hopes with downhill habits. Now, I shared with you I got into the business in April 2007, probably the most difficult time our industry has ever faced. And it was really easy for me to get caught up in the media and everything that was going on around me. You know, one of the things that happens when you let that control you is that your mindset can turn to the wrong place. And you start letting those things dictate your mindset instead of you dictating the mindset. One of the decisions that I made during that time was that I had to turn that noise off around me. And if I was going to be successful in this business, I had to get very intentional about it. I had to start doing things on purpose. And so one of the decisions that I made was that every day going forward, I was going to do something that was a revenue generating activity. So let me give you an example of some things that aren't necessarily a revenue generating activity in your business. By the way, writing a contract is not a revenue generating activity. It's a byproduct of something of a revenue generating activity, right? Showing homes to buyers, not a revenue generating activity, right? Those are leads that you already had. So when you're working on your business plan, and I'm going to show you a tool here in a minute that's going to help you with that, you want to be mindful of, are the things that I'm doing, are the behaviors and disciplines that I'm executing, are they revenue generating activities, or am I filling my business plan with just to-dos? So here's a solution I want to share with you, and I'm going to screen share here real quick. Something that I created a number of years ago that we can get over to you. Hopefully everybody can see my screen here. We just call it a business success tracker. And it's pretty simple. You just put your name in the business success tracker. You can talk about whatever your goals are. Right? And then we're going to actually track some activities, right? So I'm going to use a loan officer because I'm a loan officer, but you know, if I need to make some database calls for refinances, my spelling is horrible. You just put that in. You put your goal. That's a monthly goal, by the way. Maybe I'm going to do some masterminds on Facebook Live. All right, I want to do one a week, so I'm going to do 4, right? I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going over this. If you want a copy of this, we will get it to you. Just get with Thesia or Gil, and we'll get it emailed over to you. And if you need to schedule some one-on-one time to go over it, I'd be happy to do that with you. But it's as simple as you set yourself a goal, you start to track your activities. And the cool thing is when you go over to the third tab, it's automatically tracking your activities for you and showing you what percentage of your goals that you're actually hitting. The other cool thing that we have is this page right here that I'm showing now, we actually have a laminated poster. So if you wanted to put that up in your office or your home office on the back of your door, whatever that is, we can get that for you, right? Here's the reality about tracking. Tracking is important because it helps you see where you're going and where you've been. So as an example, when you're tracking the activities that you need to be doing in your business, you're going to be able to determine quickly by looking in the rearview mirror which ones had the best rate of return on investment and which ones necessarily didn't. Double down on the ones that gave you the highest return on investments and maybe considering lending less time to the ones that didn't give you a return on investment. Or you might realize, you know what, that's been on my business plan for weeks or months and I've never done it. Why don't I just take it off and find something that I'm actually going to do, right? So hopefully we've given you some strategies right there that are going to help you make sure that you have the best routines and habits. I want to encourage you again, if you haven't rewritten a business plan since all of this started, now is the time to make sure that you're doing the right activities and the right behaviors. So here's how I want to end my presentation with you today is I'm going to give you 6 strategies that you can leverage by being a partner with Thesia and Gil that you can do right now in this market that will help you get more business. Now, I already gave you 2. If you remember, the first one was give us some of your old tired leads. We're going to put them into this system and we're going to resuscitate them for you. The second one I gave you was be authentic. Get into your database and do some wellness checks. All right. Here's one of the things I want to share with you, because I can't think of a more exciting time to be in our business than what I'm going to share with you on this chart. So if you're looking at my screen, what I just pulled up are births in the United States going all the way back to the 1900s. Here's the thing. Right now, the average age of a first-time home buyer in this country is 33. That means they were born somewhere around 1987, which, if you can see my cursor, is right here on that chart. So if we follow that all the way up, you're going to see that the largest number of first-time home buyers are entering the market right now. The best time since going all the way back to the 1950s. Okay? Now, why is that important? Well, a great strategy for you right now might be taking a look at that demographic of first-time home buyers, right? I'm going to give you something you can do with Thesia and Gil is we have available some first-time home buyer workshops. And I know right now you're thinking, but Brian, I can't put together a workshop. Nobody can come see me. There's no venue I can go. We can't have more than 10 people. You know, here's the reality. Right now, this technology that we're using is working pretty good for us to be able to get a group of people together. So why couldn't you do a first-time home buyer seminar on a technology like Zoom? Get with Thesia. I'm sure between the two of you, you have other partners that you can leverage. We've got credit repair providers. You know, we've got title companies. We've got homeowners insurance companies. There's a lot of things that you can do to educate first-time home buyers right now. And the other question is, well, Brian, where do I find the first-time home buyers? Well, it's pretty simple, actually, on Facebook to do boosted posts to any demographic that you want. You could literally pick a zip code, married couples between the age of 30 and 35, and for probably less than $50, you would be able to advertise that first-time home buyer class and get together a Zoom call to teach that class, okay? So I'm sharing that with you right now because I want you to consider what strategies can you put in place now to help you take advantage of that market. I think you all will recognize that once we come out of this market, there's probably going to be some pent-up demand for buyers. So why not get your ducks in a row now? Go ahead and get them pre-approved by Thesia so that when the floodgates open up and we're ready to start looking at homes, you've already got them pre-approved so that you can get them in their car and you can get them looking at homes. Here's the other thing I want to talk to you about is we have a really cool technology that helps us generate leads based off of your listings, and we generate those leads through Facebook. Now you're probably saying, but Brian, I don't really have any listings right now, and that's okay. I'm going to give you a strategy. So right now, there are still people out there who think it's a good decision to list their home for sale by owner. And I'm going to ask you to reach out to them because here's the thing. All you want is to use their listing to generate leads for you on Facebook. So call that FSBO. Hey, Mr. Seller, I know you don't want to work with a real estate agent. That's fine. What I would like to do is use your listing so that I can generate some leads on Facebook. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm partnered with this great loan officer. Her name is Thesia. One of the things that she's going to do is make sure that nobody who isn't qualified to buy your home is going to come into your home. Right now, we want to limit the number of people who hit your home. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what's in it for you? Why would you want to do that if you're not going to get the listing for my home? Here's the thing. I want you to remember that one man's trash is another person's treasure. Of the leads that you generate from this FSBO, only one person is going to buy that FSBO. The other people are the ones that you want an opportunity to work with. So only one buyer, if you generated 10 leads from that system, only one buyer can actually buy that FSBO, but you want the opportunity to work with the other 9. All right? Here's the other thing. Right now, we're isolated at home, and we're in a business that it's highly beneficial for us to be visible. And we can't get visible because we can't get out in the marketplace. So the number one place that you have to be visible right now is actually social media, whether that's Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever you use. I want to give you some resources that are available to you to help you get visible in that are leveraged through Thesia. So I talked to you earlier about making sure that you are, I'm going to share my screen real quick, about making sure you are a resource and that you're well educated so that you're the resource that everybody's looking for education about what's going on in the market. Many of you probably remember a couple of weeks ago, the Fed dropped the Fed fund rate down to 0. We must have got about 100 calls of people asking us if that meant mortgage rates are 0. The answer, unfortunately, is no. But what we did produce is we produced this flyer that hopefully you can see here that shows the difference between the Fed fund rate and mortgage rates. The blue is mortgage rates. The gray or green here is the Fed fund rate. And you can see, although they maybe sometimes correlate, they are never exact. And then we went further and we talked about why the Fed fund rate and why the mortgage rate don't coincide. And then we branded it here to Thesia. Now we can brand this to you too. On the left-hand side of this footer, we'll have Thesia's information. On the right-hand side of this footer, we'll have yours. You can use these flyers to email your database. We'll send you the JPEG so you can text it out. But you could also get this on social media so that you have something to talk about that reminds people that you're in real estate. Another cool one that we have is buyer's purchasing power. Let's make sure you can see this. Okay. So what's cool about this is it shows, and these are just random rates. It doesn't necessarily correlate to what's today, but it shows what is somebody's purchasing power as a buyer right now in this market. So if somebody had a 3.625 interest rate and they wanted to buy a $325,000 home, their mortgage payment, principal and interest, is going to be $1,482. But if interest rates creeped up to even 4.25%, look at that. They just reduced their buying power by $24,000. Again, this is just something that we can get branded to you, that you can get out to your database, that you can text to your sphere of influence, that you can get on social media, that reminds people. And by the way, this would be a great flyer for you to send out to help you get some buyers off of the fence. Here's another one. So right now, buyers aren't really spending a lot of time going through homes, but interest rates are crazy low. We actually have a program called the Lock and Shop. It allows you to lock in your interest rate for up to 90 days, even though you don't have a property. Again, are these some things that could put you in a position where you can be talking to consumers, whether they're buyers or sellers, to remind them that real estate is your game? Now, I shared with you 3 flyers here. We probably have hundreds. And if you want to get with Thesia and Gil and you've got something specific you want to target, if we don't already have it in inventory, we will actually create it for you. We've got a great marketing department that will help you put those flyers together. So far I've shared with you, give us your old leads, be authentic. I've talked to you about first-time home buyer workshops. We've talked about one man's trash is another man's treasure in terms of hitting those FSBOs. And we've talked about some social media stuff. The last thing that I want to share with you is this. You all probably likely have listings, and right now the amount of traffic that's hitting your listings is going down. So how do we get people to see your listing when they can't physically get to it? We've got this really cool resource I'm going to share with you on screen share again. And these are single property website flyers. So the cool thing about this is actually a unique URL. If I highlight it up in here, the URL. So you could use this in social media. Again, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever. We pull this directly from MLS. So this is your description of the property, some details about the property, all of the photographs of that property, little map of where exactly this is located in the city, some area details. All of these buttons are clickable, and it gives you demographics about the area. Right? Branded to you. This one's for Alex. You can schedule a showing, give some mortgage options so they can see, hey, what would a payment on this type of property actually look like? And then it's got some information about Thesia. One of the cool things I love about this is we'll create this for you. It's easy to share. If you look right up here, I'm gonna hover over the share on LinkedIn, share on Facebook, share on Twitter. And then if you wanted to print some, you could hit that little paper icon. So take a second to pull up. Come on, Wi-Fi, help me out. There we go. You could change the colors here so you can brand it to your specific real estate office. You can pick out how you want these flyers to be arranged, which pictures you want to use. You can even select some extra pages that'll talk about some of those demographics that we looked at earlier. But again, all Thesia needs is the MLS number for your listing, and we can get these property flyers made for you lickety split. So again, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to spend with you today. I hope that we've added some massive value to you and your business. I just want you to know on behalf of me and Thesia and the office, if there's anything that you need, I want you to know I'm here to serve you in any way that I can. So I will turn it back over to the team in the office.
Thank you, Brian. I hope that gave you a lot of information to help you, but I just wanted to recap a couple of quick things here. Reviving the leads. If you're interested in doing something like that, reach out to either myself or Gil. You may be able to see the phone number on the screen, but I'm going to give you my office number as well. That's 561-880-4506. And we'd be happy, Gil will go over with you exactly how the program works and exactly how you will be getting the information back from what we get on your leads. And these can be your old leads too, people that you haven't even thought to reach out to, things that you thought were dead, because we are reviving, you know, my old leads from things that I have closed back in 2013. The other thing too is the online seminars. We have a Zoom account that has unlimited time and unlimited space for as many people as you want. So when he mentioned 100 people, I'm sorry, I was just corrected. So it's up to 100 people, but it's 24/7 that we can use it. A lot of people, when they get the free one, it's only 40 minutes and they can't have more than a certain amount of people. But we have those unlimited Zoom accounts. So if you wanted to put something together, you know, a seminar or something like that, we can accommodate you with that at no charge. The business success tracker. If you want to put your business plan together, we have those tools and we can get that over to you. And the FSBO, he mentioned about reaching out to sellers who are selling their homes on their own and trying to get the, you know, traffic that goes through so that you can actually advertise it on Facebook, and then you just get the calls, and even though you get the people that may not be interested in that home. Okay, the other thing too is once we open up again and there are open houses again, that's another thing that you know, Brian and I discussed. What people are doing, or realtors I should say are doing, is they're going to these sellers of these FSBOs and saying, look, I'll do an open house here, you know, for you. And then they're just getting the traffic that comes in. And we actually have some realtors who are able to pick up buyers. They weren't interested in that home, but they were able to pick up buyers and sell them other homes. So that does work. And then the branded flyers. It's a very interesting story. He showed you how that flyer works. Well, we can put that together for you. Now, some of you may not have a listing. So what we have done is we can actually, and Gil, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we can put these together where they can share that property that they may want to advertise on the flyer, even though it's somebody else's listing. So we can do that too. Okay, so that's something that you can use. Now, we actually had one of the agents here. She didn't have a listing, but she used somebody else's, in your office at Partnership Realty. They actually, we put a flyer together. She didn't have a listing. She used somebody else's, and we actually gave her a booklet, and she went on an appointment, a listing appointment. She had 3 other companies that was going into that listing appointment as well, from other agents from other companies. And because she went with a book saying, look, this is how I'm going to advertise. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share it on LinkedIn. I'm going to share it on Facebook. I'm going to do these things for you, and then she ended up getting that listing because she looked so much more professional, ready. It wasn't that particular home, but she said, this is what we will do. We're going to leave these at the property. So when people come through and view your property, they can walk away with this information because it gives all the demographics, all the information on the surrounding areas in that property. So if you're interested in any of these things, please reach out to me or to Gil. I gave you the office number. My cell phone number anytime is 954-560-2885. And I just want to say thank you for coming today and watching this, and we will be back again to give you some actual programs that may help you get through this, this time as well. Okay, and everybody, please stay safe.